This is the plaintiff, Josh Jorman. He says he watched the defendant's dog and even took him on walks, and now that cheap woman's trying to stiff him on his pay. That's right, just because he's kind of young doesn't mean an adult can take advantage of him. So he's taking her to court, seeking the $415 he's definitely owed. This is the defendant, Lori Breslin. She says she paid the plaintiff everything she owed him, and the kooky kid shows up at her house with other family members, banging on her windows because he thinks he still owed money. The plaintiff even tried to keep her dog Leo and not return him, which is dog napping. She's accused of ripping off a kid.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milianos presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Okay, Josh German?
Yep.
And who is Lori Breslin?
I am.
You are, okay. So, Josh, you are suing Ms. Breslin, Mr. German, you are suing Ms. Breslin for $415 that you say is owed to you and that she has not repaid. Tell me what's going on.
So I had boarded her dog, and she had only paid me partially.
Okay, well, how did you two meet?
On Facebook.
And she was looking for someone to dog sit?
Yes.
Okay, and then you reached out to her?
She reached out to my mom.
Why your mom? Because your mom was the one who had posted it on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, so she reaches out to you, and then what happens, Josh? Do you connect with her and meet the dog and everything else?
Yeah, everything was fine. I would walk her dog. I would feed him, feed the cat, clean the cat litter.
Okay, and she was where while you were doing that?
She was in the house in the living room.
Okay, so this goes on and you get paid and everything's fine until when? When do the problems begin?
She was moving.
Because you used to live very close to each other?
Yes.
How close did you live to each other?
5 minutes away.
Okay, so she was moving further away.
Right.
Right, and so now how far away was she?
Like 20 minutes.
Okay, so what happens?
So she moves, and as she's moving, she has surgery that she needed to get done the next day. So she had asked me to go to her house every day, but I kind of said it was too far.
Right, because you'd be driving every day. So
Right.
you tell her, I'll take care of the dog, but it's got to be at my house, and she's fine with that.
While she's in the hospital, I would
Right.
board her dog.
Right.
Sad.
So you have the dog at your house, which is her house, right? Like
Correct.
you have the dog at your house, and who else lives in that house? Your mom and who else?
My mom, my sister, my dad.
Okay. So any other pets?
No.
All right. So you have the dog at.
Besides, I have a guinea pig.
Well, yeah, that doesn't count. That's why. All right. So you have the dog at your house for how many days? June. Is it June what we're talking about?
6:15 to 6:20.
Do you have a set price that you're paid to board the dog?
Yeah.
And
so
what's that?
I charge $60 a night for every night that the dog sleeps over. If he doesn't sleep over, I told her I would charge $50 for the
Okay.
day. So I was watching him from the 15th to the 20th. She wanted her son to pick her dog up on the 19th, but it was around 10 o'clock. So I told her I could drop him off the next day. I wouldn't charge for
Right.
the 20th.
Right.
And then on the 23rd, I went to her house and I was helping her unpack and, just kind of helping her with stuff. I was there for 6 hours. And after that,
Are you supposed to be paid by the hour when you're helping her just do work around the place?
Yeah, 15 an hour.
15, 1-5?
Yep.
Okay, go on.
And so after I was there helping her on that day, she had asked me to take her dog back to my house again.
Because?
Because she couldn't handle, I guess, she couldn't handle her dog there. I mean,
Because she had just gotten out of surgery
Right.
a few days earlier or whatever it was, and she wasn't feeling well, or what?
And because, for the dog to get out and be walked, she just couldn't do that.
Okay, go on.
So I watched him at my house from the 23rd to the 25th, but I gave the 25th a night free. I didn't charge for that. So in total, it's 6 nights that I boarded, or 6 days.
Right, now she's always paid you before. What happened with this one? What unpleasantness happened that she didn't pay you with this?
Well, it was always kind of delayed,
Okay.
but she would pay me. I'm not really sure why it ended up the way it ended up.
Let's
but
find out. Ms. Breslin, I'd like to give the floor to you. Why don't you explain to me? It's kind of useful to have a spare set of hands around the house and someone to watch your dog. You know, I know I rely on my dog sitter a great deal. So what happened that made you unhappy?
Well, when I came out of the hospital 2 days prior than what I was supposed to, because I needed to get home to my animals. I can't be without my dogs. So I let Josh know I was home and I wanted the dog home. That didn't happen.
Why not?
Well, his response was that Leo was sleeping.
What time did she call you to say, bring the dogs over?
It was around 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, so he tells you, it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm not going to drive
Well, it was
there.
9, and it was my son, because he goes to school on Friday and works. So I said, my son is coming to pick the dog up. And Josh said, no, Leo is sleeping. I will bring him to you.
Okay.
Okay?
And then did he bring him to you?
No, he did not.
And then what happens?
Then it proceeded on, and I said, Josh, I kept calling. He was supposed to FaceTime me. I said, you never FaceTime me. Then I finally contacted his mom.
Do you folks have texts?
Yes.
Okay. Did you submit them into evidence?
Yes.
Is this the dog? What's the dog's name?
Leo.
What kind of dog?
He's a Labradoodle. Yes,
I have a
that's Leo.
Labradoodle, and these are like the first straight-haired Labradoodles I've seen besides my own, because they're always so curly.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, mine's a straight-haired
I shave
Labradoodle.
him down because he swims, so I don't like the hair to weigh him down.
No, I could let my dog's hair grow, and it will only be slightly wavy. It will not be curly. All right, Friday, June 17th. Hi, Lori, hope all is well. Leo is doing great, no issues. I'm about to take him for a walk. I was just curious if it would be all right to add some green beans to the food. At 8:20 a.m. on Saturday, you respond, hi, Josh, sorry I did get back to you. I think you meant I didn't get back to you sooner. Surgery was much more complicated than anticipated. I'm not doing very well. It's very hard for me to text. I will call you later. He texts you back at 1:31 on Saturday, June 18th. I'm sorry to hear that. Leo has been amazing here. No issues. Gets along with everybody. Has been eating. Going to the bathroom normally. Not sure what plans you had, but I spoke to my family. We've all fallen in love with him. If you feel Leo is too much to handle, we'd be more than happy to have him as a family member here. Our yard is fenced in. We have an in-ground pool. I would also be able to walk him at least 3 or 4 times a day. We all have Leo's best interests at heart and are thinking about what's best for him. Later on that day, you respond, how is Handsome doing? Can you send me more pics, please? I miss him so much. Did you see the text where he said, would you like to let him be my family member? Because you didn't even answer it. Was it awkward or what was?
Yeah, because that wasn't even
Yeah, but
something...
I'm kind of curious why you don't say, that's very nice of you, but hell no. Like, I'm just curious.
Honestly, I was afraid that my dog would disappear.
Okay. So, hi, sorry I didn't get back to you sooner and sorry you're having a difficult time. Leo's doing exceptionally great. Did you get my last text? We all have Leo's best interest at heart and only want what's best for him. We can give him the love, attention, and care he needs and deserves. And then he sends you a picture of Leo. Hi, Josh, I've been trying to call you. I was hoping to have Leo home already. Can you please bring him now? Please respond. I need my dog. Now you're starting to panic. Please respond. When are you bringing Leo? I'm about to get in an Uber and get him. I should have just done this last night, but you made me feel so bad. My mom gets home around 5:30. We should be there around 6. Just try to relax. Do not worry. Everything will be okay. If you could also please have my money ready for the hours I stayed at your house and helping you and taking Leo for walks, which is $170. That would be really appreciated. We'll talk later about the money for taking care of him for the time being, for the boarding. I understand you love Leo. He's amazing. I guess you didn't realize your family would too, but realize I love him. I feel awful taking him away, but if it turns I get worse and can't care for him, you would be the family I would feel confident to give him to. I completely understand that. Just thinking of what's best for Leo. You'd be able to see him anytime you want. Yeah, that's kind of making her nervous. That would make me nervous. Oh, the dog ran away. That'd be the next thing that I have these cases all the time, right? You guys must have fallen in love with the dog because you are texting her a lot about thinking of what's best for him. Well, you're pointing to your son. It's all him.
He does this with all dog walkers.
Yeah, but this is a big misunderstanding, but let me also say she's not crazy because It's over and over that your son is saying, think of the dog, think of the dog. And these cases happen all the time where, the dog ran away. And then they never see their dog again. So you have to, well, but you did get offended because I read the text where you say, you owe my son an apology. And I get it.
Because she would constantly message me and call me, telling me how Leo was crying and waiting for Josh.
After this?
No, we were actually in.
No, after this, she was constantly calling you.
No, right up to this moment.
Yeah, okay, I understand that.
Right.
But when you send her, after this, you send her a text saying, you know, you owe my son an apology because you felt like he had been wronged or whatever. What I'm trying to, just listen, don't talk. What I'm trying for you to understand is that when you're her and you love your animal and you're wondering what the right thing to do is and you're worried that you can't walk your dog and you have someone who loves your dog, you want to do the right thing for your dog, but you also want your dog. And when you hear over and over the same thing, you start to worry that something like this could happen. It's not that insane on her part because I do these cases every day. So I'm telling you, this happens every day. So she's not, I know you feel aggrieved that she would think that for a second you would do it without her permission. And I know every time you've said it, you have said, we would never do this without your permission. But I understand why she panicked, okay?
Excuse me, can I just...
Yeah.
Because they actually had called me while I was at work that day, the 23rd.
Who's they?
Both Lori and my son, they were on the phone together. Lori was crying in the background because she was telling me how Leo was destroying the house, how he wasn't eating, she couldn't take care of him, she may need more surgery, she may have to go into rehab.
Is this accurate, Lori?
No, that's not accurate.
Well, why did you let the dog go back there if you're worried they're going to try to keep the dog? It sounds like you really needed him to take care of the dog.
When Josh was there doing the work for me, they were hanging out together. And yes, I was feeling pretty bad, but I've been through multiple surgeries and I never...
It's your dog. You don't need to worry about... I'm not sitting here deciding who gets custody of the dog. It's your dog. It's property.
He had just said they were hugging, kissing, and Josh was also very teary-eyed, and I was very emotional. I just had surgery.
Okay, so the dog goes back to Josh, and how long do you have the dog this time?
Until the 25th.
And what happens on the 25th? Well, I'm sorry, so you got the dog the 23rd until the 25th?
Yes, and I hadn't even signed the paper that this dog still belongs to her. I signed it with my name on it.
Wait, she wanted you to sign that? Okay,
yes.
Smart.
And I signed it, no problem.
Right.
On the 25th, she just showed up to my house without calling or texting me, and she just wanted to take her dog back, and she didn't have any money for me.
Was she mad at you?
She didn't seem, I mean, she's not really. She seemed a little stressed.
Okay. What happened, Ms. Breslin, to make you...
When Josh had taken the dog back for that second time, it was not for boarding. He was taking the dog just because he enjoyed Leo so much.
I'm sorry, how long was he going to take the dog for? Oh, you mean you're not supposed to pay? Is that what you meant?
Yes.
Okay.
This was just because he fell in love with the dog and it was going to
Yeah,
help.
but he's the person you board the dog with who you've always
Right,
paid.
but we
So if the
didn't
situation's going to be different, have him sign something that says, I'm doing this for free. But go ahead anyway.
Okay, so Josh was supposed to FaceTime me Friday when he took Leo home, and he never did. He never answered me, and
then
I
what
was
happened?
calling. That's when I finally called the mom, and I said, Josh has his phone turned off. I haven't heard from him. What is going on? Where is my dog? So then she got in touch with Josh, I guess, and that's when he
Okay, but
finally-
then you go pick up the dog when?
Saturday,
Why?
because Josh wasn't answering me. And
Okay,
I said,
do you
and
get
he
the dog
did-
that day?
Well, I have no way to drive or anything, so Betty came to see me on Saturday.
Okay.
And Betty said, where's
Betty,
Leo?
what
I said,
happened? Your time to shine, Betty. Get right behind that microphone. There we go, perfect.
So I just went up to the house and knocked on the door, and Josh and his mother invited me in. And I'm sure they were a little puzzled why I was there, but I said, I'm here to pick up Leo. And Josh's mother said that she felt that Leo needed to stay there because Lori was not capable of taking care of the dog. And I just said, it's Lori's dog, and she needs him to be home.
And then what did Josh's mom say?
Well, she just continued that Lori was not capable of taking care of the dog and that her son Josh had really fallen in love with the dog. And she said I could get other dogs, but this is a really special dog, and my son has really taken to him. And they sleep together at night, and I've never seen my son become so attached to a dog.
Okay, and then what did you say?
Well, it's Lori's dog.
And then what did she say?
And, well, then I kind of, Josh, I walked out with the dog.
Oh, okay. And then at some point, someone signed something. Tell me about that, Ms. Breslin.
When,
Oh, yes.
When Mrs. Sherman asked you to sign
I was afraid that they weren't going to give me the dog, so I did, against my wishes, I signed the amount of $390.
Okay, how can you tell me that you did it under duress because you were afraid that they wouldn't give you the dog when Betty
Yes.
just told me the dog was already in the car?
Betty did not want it to escalate.
Well, that's
We
a
were
different thing.
afraid,
The dog is in the car, so you didn't sign it because you were afraid that they wouldn't give you the dog. The dog's in your car. So why did you
Well,
sign
Betty
it?
had to go back twice to the house.
Was the
They
dog in
didn't
your
get-
car when you signed it?
Yes, he was.
I know. So if the dog was in your car, then you didn't sign it because you were afraid they wouldn't give you the dog, okay? So it's not duress, and you signed something that said that at this point you owe $300. How much did it say? $390. That's what it said. Now how, if she signs a promissory note, because it doesn't say, I'm going to give you a bargain and we're just going to call it $390. What it says is, I, Lori Breslin, owe Josh German for taking care of Leo and boarding $390. That's a promissory note, all right? She ends up, and it says Betty witnessed. We're going to have Betty on the sheet, okay? If that's what she owes you, why are you suing? Why are you claiming now she owes you $605?
There was all the other nights that I had done for free.
Well, but if you did them for
Right.
free, then they stay for free.
I
You don't
told
get to
her-
charge for them.
I didn't-
See, this doesn't say,
Right,
listen,
right.
you owe me $600, but if you pay me by Friday, I'm going to lower it to $390. What it says is what you owe is $390. So why should I hear you when you now say, never mind. I was giving her free stuff, but now I don't want to give her free stuff because
I
she's
had told
nasty.
her in text and on the phone, which I have evidence of that, but I had told her that if this goes to small claims and all discounts.
Oh, I know you said that later.
Right.
I know you said that later.
'Cause she was
But
ignoring
you don't
me.
get, just because you say that, I'm going to sue you for much more, doesn't mean I have to award you much more. I can award you only what I find to be the evidence that is owed. Now, you ended up paying $190. If you signed a document that said you were going to pay $390, why didn't you pay $390?
Because I did not believe I owed him that.
Yeah,
I
but you
asked for an
signed a
amendment.
promissory note. Betty, what do you think you're going to say now that's going to change my mind?
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. The plaintiff says he's not about to let the defendant take advantage of him because he's just a young kid. So he's suing her for what he says he's owed. But the defendant says the plaintiff tried to keep her dog, which is dog napping, so she owes him zilch. Let's see what the judge has to say.
Lori signed the note because she did not want to sign the note, but I felt that the situation was getting out of hand, so I said, Lori, just sign the note.
Great.
That was
Then
as
Lori
a
should look at you and say, I'm not signing the note. You know what duress means? Legal duress means you have no choice because they've kidnapped your kid or they won't give you the dog. Won't give you the dog. Are you interrupting me? Do you hear me talking?
I'm sorry.
Legal duress means the only way they would give me the dog is if I would sign it. That might be duress. That might be duress. It might not. But that's a little closer. You know what's not duress? Betty saying, this is escalating. Why don't you just sign it? Lori, just sign. And then you signing it. No, that's regret on your part. It is not a legal defense. I don't rip this up. It's just that you wish you hadn't signed it now. You don't get, I'm not going to look at this and say this was some deal and some settlement and you owe more. Your exact words are, I, Lori Breslin, owe Josh German for taking care of Leo and boarding $390. They're not something else. And the fact that you choose to sue for more and charge for things that you were doing for free, you don't get to do that. The legal obligation is this. She paid $190. She needs to pay you another $200. My verdict in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of the additional $200.
So the judge awards the plaintiff another $200, which will bring it up to what he is owed. Let's see what the defendant has to say about it. Ms. Breslin, are you surprised the judge made the decision she did?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Because this note was signed under duress, and when I signed it, his mother was screaming and yelling. The father was yelling, and I was very stressed. I just had major surgery, and we just wanted to get out of the driveway in one piece.
Let me ask you this. Where's Leo at this point?
Leo is home with me.
And is he okay? Can you
Leo
handle
is
him?
okay.
Are you dealing
and
with him?
Leo is perfectly fine as always.
And so I gather now Josh is not caring for him at all. Would
No,
that be
not
right?
at all. He had ruined that for himself.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Now let's talk to Josh, who obviously cared a lot for this dog. From what we've heard, he fell in love with him. Let's see if that's the case. Josh, how about that? Did you, as they put it, fall in love with the dog?
Yeah, he was a good dog, but the point of it is we had an agreement, and she only tried paying me for 2 of the nights when it was much more than that. So
Yeah, it sounds like it was a lot more than just that. But anyway, you're getting $200. Are you satisfied now?
I am.
You think
Yes.
it's okay? All right. Well, thank you very much. Okay, congratulations, you've prevailed. All right, that'll bring this dispute to a close. Harvey, what's your opinion?
Doug, this ain't duress. I can just tell you that. Duress is almost holding a gun to somebody's head. If you feel like you are in duress and you have to sign a note just to settle a case, that's not duress. That's simply called a settlement.
Can I put a letter in my neighbor's mailbox that hasn't gone through the U.S. Post Office, and if no, why?
You can't legally do that. It
Right.
is against the law.
People
You
don't
can
realize that because people leave
No.
stuff in each other's mailboxes all the time, but technically speaking, it's
if you had a mail carrier who was like, a real hardcore rule follower. I mean, you and I look at this and we think of it as like mattress tag tearing. It's no big deal.
which you can't wait to do.
Right, I can't wait to do. But you're only supposed to be putting things in there that are properly posted with a postage stamp or other type of postage on them. Otherwise, they can get lost by mail carriers. You could be, in order to get in there, you're looking in there or you're potentially seeing stuff. And your mail's supposed to be private. Right? You could send an email. You could tie a note around a rock and throw it through the window.
Don't try not to do that.
You could use
Maybe
a carrier
just tape
pigeon.
it to the
Right.
to tape whatever it is to
Right.
the mailbox.
There's other ways.
There's other ways. You're technically not supposed to put it in the mailbox.
But people do it all the time.
People
don't
do
they?
it all the time,
Find
and the
stuff
post
in
office
there.
wouldn't.
Right.
Nobody's
How
going
many
to.
times has a friend of yours said, you left something at my house, I'll put it in
I'll
your
put
mailbox.
it in your mailbox, right.
Well, call the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.